Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I am here with a special Sunday night shenanigans. You know, there has been some drama brewing in the Love During Lockup world, and I have Dalton here,
Hi
and we're
guys,
and we're gonna get into it. Hi, Dalton. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So, you and Haley have been going at it on the interwebs, like I like to call it, and we're gonna get into it because there's been some accusations
Yeah,
thrown back
sounds
and
good.
forth and stuff. So I have one of my favorite slideshow guys. Okay, you guys know how much I love a good slideshow. So let me get myself technically ready. And Dalton and I have both have long, crazy days. Dalton has a new puppy, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, he's in the bathroom right now. He's. He's trying to walk around the house. I'm trying to get him adjusted right now.
How old is he again?
He's 3 months. We had adopted him from somebody. They'd been having him in their backyard for a while. So
Okay, so Dalton, we're gonna get into it because there's lots of drama to dissect. And this is the first time we actually get to put a face to the voice because we
yeah,
never got to meet you during the season. We
yep.
only got to, hear your voice most of the time.
To
So,
to tell you the truth, this has probably been the first open conversation I've had since the whole experience. So
oh wow. Okay. So let's get into it. Got my little slideshow up for you guys. And okay, Dalton. This is you and Haley's relationship in a
all
slideshow.
right, I'm
Okay.
ready for this. Let's go.
Okay. So you and Haley started out on Love During Lockup season one. Okay.
Yep, yep.
Everybody was fascinated by her hairstyle, first of all. Okay. She made a splash with the hair, and we only got to hear your voice. Didn't,
Yeah.
actually get to see you. But we're introduced to you by Haley, and she says you have a way with words. You write the greatest letters. What do you say to that?
I honestly I don't know. I feel like at the beginning of our relationship, that was kind of honestly all the basically all the communication we had was talking through the phone and writing letters. So I've always kind of been one that just kind of like loves hard and you know what I mean, fast and then also just to be honest, I didn't have shit else to do throughout the day, so basically kind of just going into the relationship was all, you know what I'm saying, all I really had to do, I kind of just look forward to the letters and the conversations and the calls. It was really kind of my only escape from everything. So, I
Okay.
mean, I guess I can put different letters together. Yeah.
So the one big thing during the season about Haley was about the amount of money that she was giving you, Dalton, honestly. The
Yeah.
fans were giving her a lot of flack. They were like, girl, what is wrong with you? Why are you giving this man so much money? Now, Dalton, you took the money, okay?
Yeah.
So what's your response to this?
So, I mean, honestly, my response to that was, okay, so she had obviously got her settlement after I got locked up or whatever, towards the beginning of our relationship, and yeah, I mean, there was the majority of the money that was spent on an attorney, right? So we spent $15,000 on an attorney, and that wasn't my choice. That wasn't my family's choice. That wasn't anybody's choice. That wasn't even my idea, you know. So when I had got a letter when I was in county saying that I was up for a short way on one of my sentences. So before I had caught chain to go to prison, basically we thought that I was getting released in a month or two, right? Well, when I get down there and it turns out that that letter was coming that yeah I was up for a short way, but it was on my last sentence because they hadn't terminated my last sentence. They just kind of they were running them both at the same time. So I get down to TDC and we figured out that's not how it was going to be, and they gave me a year set off. So when that year set off came up, I was talking to my family about getting a parole attorney. But in my eyes, I was, basically asking my family for us to put that together. And in my eyes, that would normally be like $2,000 to $3,000. Parole attorneys aren't that expensive. Well, when those conversations were being brought up, she was the one that jumped out and said, "Look, I want to get him one, and I want to get him the best one we can find." You know what I mean? And she was actually the one that was cooperative with my mom and putting all that together and doing all that. So I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say that like I had money on my books, probably more than I needed and all that too. Yeah, absolutely. But
Now, were you giving her money to other people like she accused you of on the show?
giving her money to other people,
Yeah, like you
I
sent
don't
it to a girlfriend that needed
no,
bond
as
money or
okay,
something.
absolutely not. No, I could look honestly, and I don't want to sound shitty like when I say this, but if I'm in jail, why would I do that? You know that like why would I send money that you know what I mean like food money I have that she sends to me for groceries or whatever else or even whatever it's for. Why would I logically do that and send it to another female? And at that time, me and that person that they said I sent it to were had zero contact, and you know what I mean. It just honestly doesn't even make sense, you know.
Okay, but
And
what they said on the show, Dalton, honestly, they said
yeah, that I bonded her out.
that you asked
Yeah,
her for a specific amount of money. Like I
yeah.
think it was $900 or
No,
something. I don't
it was
remember
$500,
or
and
something,
then
right?
when they went on the show, they basically like that attorney or whatever she was talking to, like that was dramatized. I mean, obviously for the show, just bringing type of drama to it, but that literally doesn't even make sense. You know why I would do that? Nor was I even aware of Krista's situation, or even I haven't even like spent the time to look into whether or not that was actually at the same time. You know, it was just honestly just kind of funny to me. And then as the seasons were going or whatever, I was more kind of focused on just putting my I've never been focused on reacting to any of the drama of the show, but I think it's kind of funny that you bring that up, not to sound shitty or nothing like that, but that's doesn't even like logically make sense why I would send money to a a different girl while I'm in jail, you know? But
Okay, so the season ended with you guys broken up, right?
hmm
Now, what was the real cause of the breakup in your eyes?
Zero contact. You know, I mean, I'm here honestly to kind of tell you the ins and outs of the truth and you know what is true and what isn't, and I won't sugarcoat any. You know what I'm saying? Things that obviously I was at fault. You know what I'm saying? Part of our relationship, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't an angel. You know what I mean? By all, but like by any means, you know. And
Right.
I think that we were arguing a lot, you know, on the phone, and sometimes I go times where I wouldn't call her for a couple days, and I wasn't really necessarily kind of thinking about like what that was doing to our relationship. But I mean, honestly, kind of half-assed in her defense. I'm sure it's hard, you know. She'd never really been with somebody that was in jail for that long of a period, and I think it just, you know, we kind of started drifting apart, and that initial spark that was there just kind of got dimmer and dimmer, you know. So
Okay. So when did you guys eventually make contact again and get back together? Because
so
where we left off, you guys were broken up. And the next
yeah,
thing I know, you're kissing on her on Instagram. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So we kind of half-fast remained in contact for the rest of my sentence. We didn't talk every day. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even talk every week. It'd just be kind of vague back and forth conversations. Whenever she was with Emily, every now and then, you know, we would talk whenever they were fighting or whatever, you know. And when I made parole again, I had got, a matter of fact, you know, maybe a different time I can pull these out, but I literally still have the JPEGs in my closet right now, you know, where when I had made parole again, she had sent me a JPEG saying, "Hey, I seen that you're coming home. You know, I love you. I miss you. I got a job set up for you and all that other type of stuff." And well, I had got sent to a program in TDC that was supposed to take 6 months, and then I was going to be released. And I had you know, like I said, I admit where I was wrong, and you know, I'll tell the truth about the times I wasn't. But when I was in that program, I got into some trouble, and I got some cases written. They had dropped my line class, so I'm 3 months deep into 6 months, supposed to be coming home, and I get kicked out of the program, and they send me back to TDC side. So whenever that happened, I took a paralegal course when I was down there, and I was really kind of heartbroken, and I was trying to see, you know, whatever I could do to basically fix the situation. And I got kind of into the technicals of them writing the cases and shit like that. And Well, I found, I guess you want to say a loophole. You know, I found a loophole in it, and I wrote my own appeals and I won, and I basically got granted my parole back. So when I was first in the program, she had wrote me, started answering the phone again a little bit, and then when I got kicked out, I got another JPay that said, I mean, you know, and I'll take this too because it was stupid. You know, I shouldn't have been, you know, getting in any trouble while I'm on the way home. I should have, you know, been keeping my nose clean. But I got another JPay from her basically saying, you know, you're fucking retarded, this, and that. And we had no contact from
I don't
there.
blame her there because that was a dumb
Yeah,
move, Dalton.
yeah, me either. I'm not at all. Yeah, it was most definitely stupid. But so I was actually talking to somebody else in that time, and we when I had initially got out, I wasn't with anybody, and I just kind of sent her a picture, you know, showing her that I was out, right? And I had got a couple calls from there, and she's like, "Man, I just don't know what to do. I'm in a good relationship right now, but I love you. We never got the chance to try it out here, and this, and that, and it didn't go anywhere for about a month, you know. And one day I just get a call, basically asking if I wanted to come over, and I mean I did, and it just kind of stuck from there. So
So here you guys are, happy.
yeah.
4th of July, the best 4th of July ever.
Yeah.
And it didn't last, what, 2 months before Haley posted this? I think it was at the end of August.
Yeah, the end of August. Yeah.
And it says, Dalton was not good to me, guys. Oh, and this is just one hole. I've been in similar relationship and I'm finally realizing I will no longer tolerate toxicity. I am worthy and one day I'll find healthy love. But this isn't. I wish I could tell my story more. Maybe I will when time heals these wounds, not only on me, my home, my family, and my life. And
See,
then she
that's
responds to someone saying, someone in her comments, she says,
yeah,
he hit me, so yes.
yeah,
Okay, so automatically I was like, holy shit. And not for
yeah,
nothing, Dalton, because you were the inmate, and you have your
yeah.
criminal
Persona.
history.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
was
Yeah,
like, oh my God, he's a fucking douchebag. What the fuck? He's
yeah,
not home
yeah.
for
That's
2 months and
the
he put his
reaction comes
hands on
in.
Haley. That was
Yeah.
my first reaction. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then your mugshot didn't make it any better,
Yeah, that's me
honestly.
pissed off about the situation. You
Okay.
know, so
I mean, I took one look at the mugshot and I'm like, look at this bastard, he's smirking. I'm
well,
giving
this
you my
no,
honest reaction.
this is where I was at, and we'll get deeper into the situation because I most definitely would like to explain it. But in that moment right there, that was I know this is fixing to be all over the internet, and I was pissed off about the situation, you know, because I get into it later. I'm basically haven't done anything, and now I've been out for 3 4 months, and I'm back in jail. You know, so that was just me basically pissed off knowing it was going on the internet, and I think at that point I had already posted my bond too.
Okay. So now we haven't heard from you
Yeah.
in a while,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely. Yeah.
you've been out, you've been posting pictures, of you, your girl, your little girl, which we'll get all into that later. And then you got messy, like you say.
Yeah.
And you don't like to get messy, right, Dalton? Like you
Not
explained to me before we logged on that you don't like to get
I just
messy.
honestly I just think it's super childish and to get like at the situation, it wasn't my like it wasn't my idea. I would have just kind of took in stride and just kind of moved on, you know what I mean? But the other day somebody was asking me about the Where They're At Now episode that had played because I was like, man, this doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? Literally a week before the same time she just posted that picture you showed me with the hole in the wall, they had came and filmed a Where They're At Now episode where she's telling them how we're doing so good. I'm working and I'm helping them out and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, when things don't go our way, now this shit's going on. Now I'm a piece of shit. Now I'm abusive, and now this all this other stuff. Like so I go to try to find the Where They're At Now episode, and I start seeing some of these podcasts people are posting. You know, just like basically everybody just 100% believes her side of the story because she's the only one that's had a voice. And and like I said before, I would have never went and posted anything, and I probably won't ever again about the situation. You know what I mean? But now that she's resorted to going to, Instagram and saying, oh, he's a piece of shit, he beat me up, and this and that and all this other shit, I just figured, look, it's really simple for me to show the truth, and it'll take me about 10 seconds. So that's the reason why I posted that. Most of these pictures you see on all these on the stories are literally just, these are the pictures that were saved in my phone because they went to my lawyer. So
Okay, so we have this email that supposedly came from Haley's email.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
And honestly, I'm going to let you know, Dalton, I reached out to her to ask her, and she
Yeah.
said it was total
I hacked into
bullshit.
everything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
She
this
said that she broke up with you because you were smoking meth behind her back.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've heard the comments. We don't have any contact and we can't, and I'm perfectly happy with that. But just to kind of clarify a lot of that, now not necessarily sure this email could be hacked, but a lot of that other stuff I posted is from Meta. It's literally, and I made sure to zoom out on the screenshots because I had got one comment talking about how it was Photoshop. So I made to zoom out on the content so you could literally see it straight from my messenger. You know what I mean? You can't hack into Meta. Another one of the pictures is from her phone number to my phone, which can't be hacked into. No, those are messages that she had,
Right.
but back
I
in,
know.
yeah. So some of the other messages are literally from her number to my phone. From when I
Right.
when I bonded out that night, she was literally like blowing my shit up, basically like saying, "Can you please come home? Can we talk about this, and that, blah blah blah." And that was the message that I said, "Bro, you just lied and sent me to jail." And that's the message where it's from one of her numbers where she said, I told the police it was hickeys or whatever, just basically trying to clarify she didn't lie. Now, I will get that she was pretty smart and a lot of the other calls and stuff like that, or, to a texting app. But this, like that shit that you're looking at right now, those are the messages between her and her baby daddy. And then if you go for when somebody said, oh, this looks Photoshopped, I went back further and I posted some more pictures of it straight from my messenger. You know what I mean? Of it
Right. I
being
know what you
sent
mean.
to me.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
So it
So
to literally think
you
that
and
I sat there.
Haley's baby daddy, Jared, have a good relationship, right?
We had a good relationship. I haven't talked to him since I've been out, and I don't really, know if we will or not again. But basically, at that time, he was really kind of my escape, because anytime the arguments would happen and her behavior, we didn't see eye to eye at first, and when
I'm
that
just
had
going to
started,
scroll through this as you're
yeah,
talking
go
so the
ahead.
viewers could see. Go ahead. Keep
Yeah.
talking.
So we didn't see eye to eye at first because basically there'd be times where me and Haley were like, having disagreements, and then she just like call her baby daddy and stuff. I'm like, why are you bringing him into our business? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you? That's like super toxic. So one time we had basically got almost into an altercation, and it had got real bad, and I had sent him a message, which will be explained to on there too, on some of the message I posted, where I told him, hey, this isn't like we can't do this for Hendrix's sake. You know what I mean? So I'm fixing to come over there, and we basically we gotta fix our problems. And from that moment on, we were like literally super tight. And every time I go over there, he's like, man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I went through this for 7 years. You know what I mean? So basically, it was just kind of my escape for every time things were going wrong.
Right.
So,
Right. So
and then,
Haley posted this as her response. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And I just want to show, how she said that you hacked into her stuff.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. From that
that,
email, I
yeah,
don't know
from
if
the
she's seen.
email.
So to sit there and think that I hacked into everybody's Facebook, I hacked into somehow learned how to get into a phone and send myself a number from the message, and then hacked into an email that she said she didn't use, but anybody can get on these little apps and see that it's connected to certain accounts and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like literally, it's just honestly ridiculous. Like I don't
And
even
then
have
she
enough time in the
posted
day
a
to do all this
copy
shit.
of her protective order that
Yeah,
was issued
yeah.
and these pictures. Now,
Okay,
what's
so
your response to these pictures?
Okay, so the protective order is standard. Anytime any type of allegation is made like that, that's not something that she did. That's something that's done through the court. Now,
Yes, I know.
this
Mm-hmm.
picture, if you look at it, if anybody were to zoom in on these pictures, that little cut where her mouth is right underneath the piercing she has for her smiling, right? And then if you look on her shoulders where those scratches are, this literally not even matching like a scratch of an altercation. You know what I mean? If somebody's wrestling with somebody and they get scratched, it's gonna go like across their whole body. If you look on that upper shoulder right there, you literally can like clearly tell that she got her fingernails and scratched back and forth. If you look at my hand, I barely have fingernails. That's not identical to scratches from an altercation. That looks like somebody was scratching themselves. Like it's an inch by an inch. It's back and forth. And then thirdly, my statement on the whole, okay, so you said I hit you in the mouth. Okay. Now Haley's like 5'2", 100-something pounds, and I'm not shaming her. She's, obviously a beautiful person or whatever, but I'm a grown man. If I were to hit you in the mouth, your markings wouldn't be on the inside of your mouth. Your marks would be on the outside of your mouth. I don't know if anybody's, I'm sure some of these people watching this have been into altercations before. If somebody gets hit in the mouth, their outside of their mouth swells instantly. You know what I mean? Your lip's going to be swollen up. There's not going to be a little tiny cut from where your smiley is. That doesn't even, you know what I mean? That's like super easy to dissect. I'm a grown man, and if I hit like a woman in the mouth, it's gonna leave marks on the outside of their face. There's pictures posted like literally a day or two after, and there's no markings on the outside of her face.
So I want to talk about your relationship with Hendrix.
Yeah.
While you were, with Haley, how was your relationship with him? And did he witness this whole altercation?
Okay, so no to the second question.
Okay.
But thirdly, I'll get into it later if you want to know details, but there literally was no altercation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
right.
Even one of these people, anybody can access the public, all court records are public data, right? So anybody could pay to access the court records, and you'll see that literally the next day she went and signed an prosecution telling the DA that she lied. And then secondly, you'll see that one of the police officers that dropped me off at jail wrote into his own report that he's seen no signs of an altercation. And honestly, I don't necessarily want to bring Hendrix into this. If you don't mind, it's not really
problem.
my place to talk about him.
Not a problem. But you have a baby girl, right?
Yeah. So
how old is she?
This is Sophia. She's let's see, 12 plus 4. She's 16 months right now. And I've been in her life pretty much since she was born. I won't even get into people on that, but she basically doesn't. I'm basically the father that she knows.
Right. So now, adorable. Dalton, I have to ask you, as Sophia's father, listening to everything that happened between you and Haley, what kind of warnings would you give her? Because I'm sure you wouldn't want her,
That's a tough question to ask because I was never physically assaulted in our relationship. So
but it was toxic, your relationship, though. That you have to admit. Okay.
Super toxic. But that wasn't.
So let me rephrase my question. So as a dad, what kind of advice would you give your daughter dating? Like what red flags to look out for? This is a good thing
for me. This is basically what I thought about the whole time and how I kind of tried to tell myself when I got out of this whole situation. And I'll get into the reasons why I, stayed in jail for a while. If you want to get into that later.
I want to get into that. Yes.
So basically, just when it doesn't feel right, it's not right. You can't force anything. You can't. If you love somebody, but in your gut, that it's not gonna be a healthy relationship and it's not gonna be right, then that's probably what it is. You have an intuition for a reason. So just don't.
So that's what happened with you from the beginning. Like you had an intuition, but you didn't follow it. Is that what you're saying?
Not from the beginning, like as far as our relationship while I was in jail, but when I got out, yeah, absolutely. Okay. It wasn't very long that I could tell that there wasn't gonna be a healthy relationship, and honestly, for either one of us,
Okay, so what were the signs that you were seeing on Haley's side that was giving you a kind of like, I don't know?
Okay, so this is the thing. When we have disagreements, Haley's never wrong. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Haley, there was never, okay, I'm going to refrain from just even bringing her name up too much because I don't want
She's stubborn, basically.
Not even, it's like, like I can do something wrong, and like let's say I do something wrong. Let's just like put this in our perspective, right? Let's
Right.
say that we have some type of friendship or whatever, right? And I do something wrong, and then I basically kind of gaslight it and turn it into like you know what I mean? And you're sitting there and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, do you not see like what the fuck you just caught? And I'm like, no, like this is because you and you and you. There's never a time where I felt like I wasn't wrong in situations I knew that I wasn't wrong about, you know?
Right. But were there, I'm sure there were situations that Haley were right about concerning you. Because, like you
Mm,
said,
I'm gonna tell you the
there's
truth,
two
and I won't.
people.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I won't get into it too much because I obviously can't. But maybe my criminal activity, you know, maybe that. But honestly, even with all that going on, like when I first came over there, you know, like she had lost her job or whatever, and this is even on the where they're at now. So you know, if I'm getting told that I'm not right for this, people can just watch that episode and see it come out of her mouth, you know. But basically, I stepped up, I grabbed a job, I was, you know what I'm saying, doing what I needed to do and all that. And if I was doing anything, period, I'm at home at night, you know what I mean, cook dinner, like, you know what I'm saying, laying in bed, watching TV with the family and stuff like that. So I mean, maybe in my eyes, because I kind of adapted to this lifestyle my whole life, that I didn't necessarily, I figured I had my ducks in order. Now, just kind of being mature and kind of grown now. So in the situation, obviously that's not right. You know, there's never really a time to where it's just okay for, you know, somebody to be doing that. But, you know, it's you know, I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't, I might have been a criminal my whole life, but most of my other exes will basically explain I got a really good heart. You know what I mean? And I also do have morals. I believe in karma. You know, I don't just
Right.
like, yeah, type of
So,
shit.
okay. Something happened that night, and you are sitting in jail for 7 months, and now you have a ankle monitor.
Yes.
So, do you want to explain as much as you can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
When I went to jail and I bonded out, you know, basically that's when the non-prosecution got written and at the top of the non-prosecution you sign, which like I said is public data, anybody can see that if they look up the court case, they can see that it was done and turned into the DA. At the top of that, you write your name on there and you admit that you lied. That's literally what a non-prosecution affidavit is. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
so when I went to jail, I basically got that. I was pissed off about the situation. Now, the reason why I sat in jail is I bonded out that night, but I'm on parole, right? So in
Right.
the state of Texas, if you're on parole and you commit a charge and they decide to lock you up, you cannot get out. There's no bonding out until the outcome of your case. You know what I mean? So I called parole immediately after I bonded out, and I was upfront about the situation, which isn't normally like me. Normally I would have ran, but in my eyes, I figured, hey, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm just going to go ahead and go talk to my parole officer and explain the situation. So the day I went up to, I had a woman parole officer at the time, and I think all she seen in her eyes was the charge, and didn't, you know, oh well, all of us, like, you know what I mean? Immediately he's guilty and he's a piece of shit, and you know, regardless of what her opinion was, parole decided to lock me up. So immediately after I got locked up, we started, you know, processing all the information together. Haley had added me a couple times, even after I got locked up on my, you know, on my home wave, and tried to reach out to me, and I, you know, ignored all of them because it's a yeah, I have a like I said, I have a protective order. We can't have any communication, nor would I want to after that point, you
So,
know.
did you let your lawyer know that she was trying to get a hold of you?
No, ma'am, I'm not that tight. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
just kind of ignored it and deleted the accounts off of my home wave. But
Okay.
so basically we brought all that information to my lawyer, and I had probably about 8 of my ex-girlfriends write letters on my behalf, basically saying that, like, look, we've been in bad relationships and some of them were good and stuff like that, but even through the bad times, like, never at a time did we feel like this was going to be an issue. You know what I mean? And never has it ever been an issue, you know? So they basically came to my defense, and you know, those are also given to my lawyer. Got letters from all of them. We got all the stuff I posted was handed to my lawyer. And so basically, my lawyer, I had paid a good lawyer, you know, and so when all that came about, he contacted the DA, and this is after about 50 days that I've been locked up, right?
Right.
So the DA pretty much told me that, you know, well, basically, I want, like, you know, I want to go to trial, pretty much. So But then she also offered me 53 days time served, which was exactly on the day that we had contacted them. You know what I mean? So she basically gave me the option, hey, do you want to just go ahead and sign time served, or do you want to sit another 6, 7, 8 months and wait to go to trial?
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, immediately, if I would have went to trial because of the non-prosecution and all that, the charge would have been dismissed. You know, you can't accuse somebody of something and then go back and write a statement saying that you lied and then try to go back to court and say, okay, never mind, I lied about lying. You know what I mean? You're immediately incredible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your statement's incredible. But basically, at that time, I was pissed off that I was back in jail. And then thirdly, I was pissed off that I was back in jail for something I didn't do. And so fourthly, I just basically tried to, my parole officer I had at the time said that you basically got a 50-50 chance that after, since it's just a misdemeanor, and the reason why the charge was a misdemeanor is because I'm 28 and I've never had a family violence charge. If you catch two in the state of Texas, then it'll be a felony. The charge was a misdemeanor because I've never had one. And so basically they gave me the option to she's like, well, she said you have a 50-50 chance of either getting continued supervision and getting shot right back out, or you have to go to ISF. So ISF is just a sanctioned facility for parole. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yes.
So that's basically why I was in there for most of the time. Never once
Right.
was my parole revocated for this issue. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
just
So now why do you have the ankle monitor?
Okay, so now that's standard on parole. You like I said before on the 50-50 thing, when you get out anytime, you 50-50 chance have a chance of being on a monitor. Now my monitor is not a bad monitor. I'm on a curfew monitor. So
Okay.
I'm not on a GPS. I'm not on house arrest. It's not that I can't leave the house. I just have a curfew of when I got to be in the house, and my monitor's only for 60 days. It's just
Okay.
sometimes it's just standard for when you get released, just kind of watching for a little bit, and then they take it off, and you're just back to regular parole.
Right. Okay. So Dalton, what have you learned from all this? And what,
uh,
and what do you look forward to in your current relationship?
yeah, absolutely. I honestly, I just wanted to get on with my life. You know, never once would I posted any of this stuff or did any of this, but it just I needed a chance to basically what I posted is it speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? Either half of that shit can't be hacked into. Meta is like one of the most secure apps or sites in the whole entire world. You know what I mean? Or in
Mm-hmm.
the United States. And basically, I just put it out there, let it speak for itself. I just wanted to kind of clear up the allegations. It has nothing to do with her. I don't care I never even cared if she had seen it or not. This was more so for all the hate I was seeing online.
Right.
So, now that I kind of said my piece and I've got the chance to do that, I just want to move on with my life. I'm tired of being in jail. I'm out now. I got a job. We got some money saved. We got a new apartment. I just got a puppy. I'm raising my little girl. That's honestly all I really care to do. I just want to kind of put this shit behind me. This is the first time in my life I've been home. I haven't been doing anything stupid. I don't plan on it. I'm just enjoying, putting a home together, buying some new furniture, I came home to an empty apartment, filling it up, just going out to eat and just kind of enjoying, life. I'm not gonna say that I'm like do community service all day and stupid shit like that, but I don't do nothing out of the normal that any other person my age does. I like to cook steaks and hang out, work on the car and shit like that. I kind of want to basically you asked what I had learned from the situation, and my whole thing is if something doesn't feel right to you, it's probably not right, and there's probably a reason why it doesn't feel right to you, and just be aware, if you see certain behaviors and people around you, and just be aware to that and tune into that, because it's never worth sacrificing yourself behind.
Right.
I've got several. This is probably one of the only people in my life that will attest badly to my character. Honestly, I've have been in obviously multiple other relationships, and even me not being perfect and engaging in the lifestyle I used to live, I guarantee you every single one of them will speak to my heart. I've got a genuine heart, and I sometimes that gets me in trouble. But basically, just like I said, just be attuned to yourself and be aware, and don't ever try to sacrifice yourself for somebody else. If that becomes an option in a relationship to where it's like that, that's probably not something you should be doing anyways. Any type
Right.
of relationship, people should be beneficial and basically lifting each other up. It's not going to be perfect all the time, but you know, for the good majority, if you and the person you're with don't feel like y'all are a compliment to each other and y'all build each other, then there's probably something you need to look into that, you know? So that's just, you know, that's just that's just the best I can say on it. You know, let's be aware, be in tune with yourself, listen to yourself, and also be aware of your surroundings, be aware of people around you, you know?
Right.
So
So before I let you go, do you have anything else that you want to clear up and get off your chest?
not even
Okay.
this wasn't even for me this, like I said before, this is even wasn't something I would have ever even wanted
Right.
to
I
do.
get it. I get it.
But
But you know, sometimes you just need to clear things up. So I want
yeah,
to give you the opportunity if there's anything else you know you want to say. If
no, I've been a lot of things in my life, but that's not one of them, you know?
okay.
So
Okay. So what's your 5-year plan, Dalton? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? That'll be
okay,
my
so
final question.
I'm this is something that I was doing when I was out this last time too, right? So obviously I have a career, you know, a record or whatever, right? So my thing when I got out last time that I was just kind of focusing in while I was in prison last time, I got my paralegal license, you know, and I was just basically trying to, how can I live a good life with the I guess obstacles that I've placed in front of myself, you know? So my uncle did 10 years in the feds, and he basically came out and he started driving trucks, and now he's got a couple of his own trucks and stuff like that. So he kind of gave me the route. Before I got locked up, I was signed up. I was waiting on a grant for a CDL school, and
Okay.
now I'm just gonna go ahead and he should probably pay for it. It's only $5,000. So I just wanted, that's something I want to be able to have the best career I can have with these little obstacles I put in front of myself, you know.
Right.
So that's basically it. It's a little challenging at times because I haven't really known too much else in my life. But I know one thing is that I don't want to be sitting in prison for the rest of my life. You know, that shit sucks.
That's
So,
good. Yes. That is a good mindset to have.
absolutely.
Okay. It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too, and thank you for giving me the chance to kind
No
of talk
problem.
for a little bit.
No
I appreciate
problem.
it. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you
All right.
guys. Everybody have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.